Hi, hello, good evening. Welcome back to National IAS Academy, dear friends. My name is Rajshekhar and welcome back to another video. In this video, we shall analyze the first set of 25 questions of UPSC Prelims 2023. Yes, the key trends are already discussed. I have briefly discussed about the key trends that were there in the UPSC Prelims 2023 question paper in the previous video. Please do check it out. Like I said, the question paper was a little difficult, a little unconventional. Yes, even for veterans, that was the case. Questions seemed familiar, or rather, the areas from where the questions were picked seemed familiar. You thought that you would know the question or you would know the right answer. But when you start solving the question or when you get into the statements or options, you would definitely be confused. So that is how the questions were framed. UPSC has altogether come up with a new trend. Yes, every year it keeps changing its trends, and this year it has got a new trend. What is that trend? The questions are a little difficult, more time consuming, and although they looked familiar, but they took more and more time from your side. So that's the reason the paper was said to be a little lengthier compared to the previous year questions. Alright, so in this video I shall be discussing the first set of 25 questions from UPSC CSE 2023 prelims question paper. But before that, I wanted to tell you something. Before prelims, we successfully conducted a YouTube series which was named Focus 300, in which we discussed more than 300 important topics which were highly important from UPSC Civil Services prelims perspective, that too for 2023. And along with that, many classes were conducted at National IAS Academy. So together, both from the classes and from the Free Focus 300 initiative, we got nearly 45 to 50 questions repeated in your prelims question paper. Yes, soon we shall be releasing the set of articles with required supporting information. But we are proud to have nearly 50 percent of the 50% of the questions being covered at our institute through our various initiatives. So all right, so do check it out. I shall soon be sharing the document, and welcome to a new video in which we shall be discussing all the important questions, or rather all the questions of UPSC CSE 2023. So in this video I shall be discussing the first set of 25 questions. Let us begin with the first question. It is related to river and associated places. See, UPSC still keeps, although questions are difficult, it still frames questions surrounding the main themes or thematic areas, like important rivers and places associated with these rivers has been one of the most favorite subject or most favorite theme of UPSC. And this year too, in under this theme, there is a question. River is there and associated places are there. See, let us look at the question. Consider the following statements. Jhelum River passes through Ular Lake. Yes, Jhelum River, we all know, because one aspect is we should be reading all the important or major rivers of India. That is one thing. From this perspective, you might be knowing about Jhelum River and Ular Lake. Second thing, Indus Treaty was constantly in news. Jhelum, Indus, Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, Satluj, Bias, all these rivers were continuously in news for various reasons. One was the Indus Treaty, and the other one was India was constructing a few hydroelectric power projects across these rivers, and Pakistan has raised objections to the construction of these sites or these projects. So for various reasons, it was in news, and I expect each one of you to have studied this particular topic that is related to Jhelum River. So first statement, we can easily mark it as a right statement. Next, look at the second statement. Krishna River directly feeds Kolleru Lake based on few elimination techniques. Yes, elimination techniques are not completely applicable, but somehow, somewhere, we can catch hold of these keywords. Here, the examiner is saying Krishna River directly feeds, directly becomes questionable. We know about Krishna River, we know about Kolleru Lake. Don't you think? Don't Have you not studied about Ular Lake or Kolleru Lake? Obviously, as a serious aspirant, you will you should have studied these topics. So while studying Kolleru Lake, have you come across Krishna River? Yes. In which context? Kolleru Lake lies between Krishna and Godavari. It lies between Krishna and Godavari river. It is not directly fed by the Krishna river. So this might not, flash during the examination hall or in the examination hall, but this keyword directly, somewhat makes it suspicious. So if I was an aspirant writing the prelims, attending the UPSC CSE 2023 question paper, I would mark this statement as a wrong statement. So then meandering of Gandak River formed Kanwar Lake. This was also in news, Kanwar Lake and Gandak River. It's a tributary of which river? So we also know that. So based on the elimination of second statement, it would have been easy to mark option B as the right option. That is, I know about Jhelum River and I know about Gandak River. But supposedly, if you're a new aspirant or you have not studied about Gandak River in detail or in depth, or you even do not know about the Kanwar Lake, then it becomes problematic. Then marking the right answer would be a little difficult. So you hardly know one's particular statement. So you are confused whether it is only one or only two. So this is why I said that the difficulty level of the UPSC question paper has increased compared to the previous year. Yes, in 2022 to in 2022 question paper we had similar questions, that is only one, only two, all three, and none. But along with these kind of questions, this year we have a new set of questions, or rather old set of questions that were previously being asked, which are now repeated. That is statement based questions, statement 1 and statement 2, right? So that's the reason the overall difficulty level of this year's question paper has increased, right? So Jhelum River, yes, suppose if you're a serious aspirant and you have kept yourself up to date with the current affairs, then you would mark statement 1 and 3 as the right answer, or at least you would eliminate the second statement and mark the statement 1 as the wrong answer. I mean right statement. So in this scenario, uh, anyhow you'll be eliminating option C and option D. You're left with only two options. So the probable chances, or the chances of getting this question right, would be 50-50 for you, 50%, right? So let us look at the second question. Kamrajar Port, Mundra Port, and Vishakhapatnam Port. Kamrajar Port, first major port in India. We all know that. Yes, while studying economics, you might definitely have gone through the major ports of India. So in that category, or in that particular topic, I expect, or I hope, each one of you has studied at least few lines related to each port. So based on this, you can easily eliminate the third statement. Third, match the following. That is, Vishakhapatnam port is definitely not the largest container port of India or port in India, right? Whereas Kamrajar port, it is first major port in India. That is correct. Mundra port, it is largest privately owned port in India. We all know about these two statements. But somehow, if you get confused with the third statement, please note that Vishakhapatnam port is definitely not the largest port in India. So, which is the largest port in India then? Jawaharlal Nehru port, which is located in Maharashtra, is the largest container port in India. Right? So, I definitely classify this question too as a difficult one, because you cannot eliminate the options. Somehow you can eliminate a statement like the previous question, but eliminating the options is not possible here. This is the kind of difficulty that is being increased year on year by UPSC. Right? Third question. Jackfruit, that is Artocarpus heterophyllus. Mawa, that is Maduca indica. Teak, Tectona grandis. How many of the above are deciduous trees? See, teak we know it's a deciduous tree. Mahua we know it's a deciduous tree. You can eliminate jackfruit because it is not deciduous tree, but it is evergreen tree. This is no the basic knowledge that you should be possessing, right? Why? Because in geography you would have studied the classification of forests. So in that particular topic, you would definitely have come across various tree species or fauna and flora associated with various types of forests. So I expect this to be a little, moderate to difficult kind of question. I would not say, I'd not call it as a easy question, but It is definitely in between, somewhere between moderate to difficult question. Next, question number 4. Consider the following statements. India has more arable area than China. The proportion of irrigated area is more in India as compared to China. The average productivity per hectare in Indian agriculture is higher than that in China. I would straight away eliminate the third statement. Why? Because the biggest complaint about India is this thing, that the productivity per hectare in India is less compared to other countries. So as a result, I will be eliminating this third statement. Even then, I'm left with statement number 1 and statement number 2. And to answer this question, or to mark these statements as correct statement, you should be having prior knowledge. That is very much expected. Right? So once again, has the theme changed? No. Agriculture is one of the favorite hot topic for UPSC. It is one of the favorite themes for UPSC, and from last few years, questions on agriculture and environment are pretty much increasing. So you must be knowing basic things about agriculture. I'm not saying if I was an aspirant I would have studied, but definitely these are some expected questions or expected points that each one of you should have studied or should be remembering. So what is it talking about? Arable area and irrigated area. That is proportion of irrigated area. However, statement 1 and 2 both are correct. Statement 3 is wrong. Alright. Average productivity per hectare is higher in China. Okay. Next question. Which one of the following is the best example of repeated falls in sea level giving rise to the present day extensive marshland? As soon as you hear the marshland, the word marshland, you would definitely go to Gujarat, that is Run of Kutch. So based on that, you could have marked option D as the right answer, and that logic is correct. So the right option is option D. It cannot be Bitarkanika mangroves, it cannot be Marakannam salt pans, and it cannot be Naupada swamp. The right answer is Run of Kutch. Question number 6. Ilmenite and rutile, abundantly available in certain coastal tracts of India, are rich sources of which of the following? Aluminium, copper, iron, or titanium? Right answer would be titanium. Right. It was in news. Yes, it was in news. The article was covered in the Hindu, but even then, it is definitely classified as a difficult question. But because it is hard to focus on these two keywords, that is ilmenite or and rutile. You would somehow have looked at the titanium as one of the minerals, major minerals, but it is very easy to forget or not focus on these two areas. Right? So once again, a difficult question. Next, about 3/4 of the world's cobalt, a metal required for the manufacture of batteries for electric motor vehicles, is produced by, the right answer is Democratic Republic of Congo. Right? See, the question with respect to cobalt or any other major mineral was expected. But you would have studied that from Indian perspective. But UPSC has asked us to even look at the international share with respect to major minerals. Right? This is a new learning. Yes, I'd like to add one point. If you're scoring well, that is 82 above 80, any score above 80, you should right away start preparing for your mains, because it's a pretty good score compared to the difficulty level this year. But somehow your score is below 75 or less than 75, even though you have studied completely for one whole year, you have sacrificed so many things, you are dedicated your one entire year or 2-3 years to this examination only. Even then, if you're not able to score above 75 or 70, do not lose out. If you're left with attempt, take it up very seriously, give one more attempt, and definitely it shall help you. So this was not your mistake. This is how UPSC is. Most of the students or even teachers or even motivational speakers say that with sheer hard work you can crack this examination. Yes, hard work is necessary and needed, but a pinch of luck is also necessary. So don't blame yourself for scoring less in this year's examination, preliminary examination. Better understand your mistakes, identify the thematic areas or key themes, look at how the questions are being asked by UPSC, look how you can improvise your score or improve your scores, and then start working in that regard right away. Right? Okay. So the right answer would be Democratic Republic of Congo. Next, which one of the following is part of the Congo Basin? Just look at this. Here in the previous question itself, there was a mention of Congo, and the next question is immediately related to the Congo Basin. Yes, these are the trends. Of course, they might not be true all the times, but I had discussed in my Focus 300 classes that UPSC tries to follow a certain pattern. A topic on which a question is framed at one particular area, immediately after two or three questions, the same topic would be repeated. Yes, the question might be different, but thematic area or the topic would be definitely the same. So based on the comparison or based on few common understandings, you can actually get those two questions right, which are related to one same topic, right? So Congo Basin, which one of the following is a part of the Congo Basin? That is Cameroon. World map. In world map, you should definitely study about the important areas of Africa, Arctic region, Antarctic region, Asia region, ASEAN, and SAARC countries. You would have studied. You would also be required to study important straits or passages, etc. So as part of that, I expect you to have studied Congo Basin. But even then, let me tell you, even after studying Congo Basin, it was next to impossible to remember all these countries. So in such areas, since UPSC is asking questions even from such remote areas, from now on, please try and remember these, the names of these countries too. Based on maybe few mnemonics or keywords or some tricks, you can definitely try to remember the countries. So for this question, the answer would be A. And next, question number 9. Amarkantak Hills are at the confluence of Vindhya and Sahyadri ranges. Biligiri Rangan Hills constitute the easternmost part of Satpura range. Sheshachalam Hills constitute the southernmost part of Western Ghats. All these statements are wrong because Amarkantak Hills are in Madhya Pradesh. They're not at the confluence of Vindhya and Sahyadri ranges. You can eliminate the first statement. Second, Biligiri Rangan Hills is a part of Karnataka. It's in Karnataka. And Sheshachalam Hills also does not constitute the southernmost part of the Western Ghats. I think. So in this manner, you can definitely eliminate. Yes, Sheshachalam Hills was in news because it is also called as Tirumala Range. They are the hill ranges in Western Ghats located in Andhra Pradesh and not the Western Ghats. Right? This is how the examiner tries to play with you or tries to trap you. All these things, Eastern Ghats, Sheshachalam Hills, Biligiri Rangan Hills, Amarkantak Hills, Sahyadri ranges, Vindhya ranges, all these are known keywords. In one or the other way, you would have definitely come across all these keywords if you have been consistently studying properly or seriously. But at this given junction or given point of time, it is hard to converge all these points in one go at one place and confine it to one particular question. That is where the difficulty of this question increases or difficulty of the paper increases. So that is what UPSC has done this year. All right. Next, with reference to India's projects on connectivity, consider the following statements. East-West corridor under Golden Quadrilateral project connects Dibrugarh and Surat. Trilateral highway connects Moreh in Manipur and Chiang Mai in Thailand via Myanmar. Bangladesh, China, India, Myanmar economic corridor connects Varanasi in Uttar Pradesh with Kunming in China. This is, a top 10. This is one among the top 10 difficult questions in this year's paper. How? See, Golden Quadrilateral, we know, obviously. East-West corridor, we have heard because it is a part of Golden Quadrilateral. But it is very easy to get confused between the two extreme places through the places which are connected through this corridor, right? So it can be classified as one of the difficult questions because Golden Quadrilateral project, we all know, it seeks to connect Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai, and Kolkata. The East-West corridor, which is a part of this, connects Silchar in Assam to Porbandar in Gujarat. Next, IMT, that is India. Yes, one second. India. IMT Trilateral Highway connects Moreh in Indian state of Manipur with Mae Sot in Thailand. passing through Myanmar. That is why we call it as IMT. India, Myanmar, and Thailand highway. Right. But how can you remember the places? It's so difficult. Kunming, you can easily, sorry, third statement, at least you have Kunming, which is a familiar place. But in the second statement, it's hard to remember Chiang Mai and More. Manipur, you can remember. Thailand, you can remember. But it is next to impossible to remember these questions. So, another learning for all of us from this year's question paper is that UPSC is specifically pointing towards even the minute or minutest details of the important places that were in news. So far, general overview of a particular place which was in news was sufficient. But this year, that alone is not sufficient. All right. So even this can be classified as one of the most difficult questions, right? Next question. Consider the following statements. Statement 1. India, despite uranium deposits, depends on coal for most of its electricity production. Uranium, enriched to the extent of at least 60%, is required for the production of electricity. Which one of the following is correct in respect of the above statements? See, these statement-based questions, they're not completely new. Previously, UPSC used to ask such kind of questions, but of late, it had stopped asking such kind of questions. Right. So most of the aspirants started thinking that UPSC has started new trend, but this is definitely not a new trend. Questions were previously asked. Okay. All right. So here the right answer would be C. That is statement 1 is correct, but statement 2 is incorrect. What does the statement 1 say? India, despite uranium deposits, depends on coal for most of its electricity production. Yes, we all know that. India, for that matter, for electricity production, that too for thermal power plants, most of the fuel is being imported. So statement 1 would be correct, and uranium enriched to the extent of at least 60% is required for the production of electricity. So this appears to be a trap, this statement. So such statements can be eliminated. So in that context, option C becomes the right answer. So what is the correct value for statement 2? It is 3 to 5%. Low enriched uranium, which typically has a 3 to 5% concentration of uranium 235, can be used to produce fuel for commercial nuclear project or power plants. Right? So statement 2 is not correct. Next, consider the following statements. Marsupials are not naturally found in India. Yes. Best example for marsupial is kangaroo. So are kangaroos naturally found in India? No, they're not found in India. So that's the reason statement 1 becomes correct. Marsupials can thrive only in montane grasslands with no predators. See, we got one question to eliminate based on our previous experiences. That is, previously we used to specifically focus on keywords such as only, most, all, none. So one such statement or one such keyword has appeared after 11 questions finally. So I would eliminate the statement 2. So in this regard, correct option would have been option C. That is statement 1 is correct, but statement 2 is incorrect. All right. So because they are not naturally found in India and they are mostly found in arid and semi-arid areas. Right? Next question is question number 13. Invasive species specialist group that develops global invasive species database belongs to which one of the following organizations? For this particular question or for such kind of questions, I always keep telling my students one thing. Whenever there is an important organization, that is maybe IUCN it is, or World Economic Forum, WHO, or WTO, whenever there is a topic related to such big international institutions, please visit their webpage once. When you visit their webpage once, in the homepage itself, all institutions, all reports, or all those important topics which are related to that particular institution would be displayed in the homepage itself. So likewise, invasive species specialist group is associated with IUCN, that is International Union for Conservation of Nature, and it has been displayed in the homepage of IUCN website itself. So extend your reach. Go beyond what the institutes or what your mentors are teaching. Because ultimately, the success is dependent not just on what you learn, but also on how you learn. That how should encompass few areas where your true efforts or your true inquiring mind should come into picture. Right? So for question number 13, the right answer is A. Question number 14. Consider the following fauna. Lion-tailed macaque, Malabar civet, sambar deer. How many of the above are generally nocturnal or most active after the sunset? You can easily eliminate the first statement because we know that lion-tailed macaque cannot be a nocturnal animal. It is found in Western Ghats. Whereas sambar deer and Malabar civet are nocturnal. See, so far, when it comes to important species, what we studied, we generally looked at few things. What are they? That is IUCN nature of IUCN category of these species or the habitat, right? Or maybe where they are endemic. But now the UPSC has changed the trend and it has gone one step ahead to ask about their key features, whether they are nocturnal or they are diurnal or any other minor topics related to those species. So once again, the trend is changing. The trend has changed. So right answer for this would be only 2 because lion-tailed macaque is not a nocturnal animal. Whereas this sambar deer is, it's a diurnal animal, which is active both in day as well as night. Next, which of the following organisms perform waggle dance for others of their kin to indicate the direction and distance to a source of their food? The right answer would be honeybees. Right? Once again, this is a very difficult question, I would say, because we all have studied about honeybees, but specifically related to honeybees, it is pretty difficult to have noticed or studied about the waggle dance. So easily an aspirant gets confused here. Next, question number 16. This is, see, this and another question. These were the only 2 easiest questions in the entire question paper of UPSC because they kept the previous trend wherein we used to eliminate the wrong answer or pick the right answers based on keywords such as some, most, or only. Right? Some mushrooms have medicinal properties. Yes. Some mushrooms have psychoactive properties. Some mushrooms have insecticidal properties. Some mushrooms have bioluminescent properties. That's all of them are correct. You might get confused with the bioluminescent property, but it is also a correct statement. In the month of December 2022, an article was article had come in the Hindu newspaper. It said some mushrooms are showing unique bioluminescent properties in the state of Nagaland. So if you have been regular to newspaper, then there is a chance of having noticed this particular property. All right. So all of the 4. 17th question is also somewhat similar. Consider the following statements regarding the Indian sparrows. Here also, all the 3 statements are correct. They build nests by making burrows in the ground. They store their food materials like nuts and seeds in the ground. They are omnivorous. All of them are correct. That is C. Next, some microorganisms can grow in environments with temperature above the boiling point of water and they are called as thermophiles. Thermophiles. Some microorganisms can grow in environments with temperature below the freezing point of water. And some microorganisms can grow in highly acidic environment with a pH below 3. So since some is there everywhere, so I will be marking all the 3 statements are correct. So right option will be C. See, the kind of techniques that we are using right now, at least for this question or the previous question, such techniques were useful or could have been applied for most of the questions in our previous year questions or during our previous year question papers. But this year, that trend has gone. That is completely changed. You won't get not more than 2 such questions are there in the entire question paper. So obviously, that is the reason. For such reasons, I'm saying that the question paper is was a little difficult. Right. Next, question number 19. Which one of the following makes a tool with a stick to scrape insects from a hole in a tree or a log of wood? Fishing can, fishing cat, orangutan, otter, or sloth bear? It is B, orangutan, because an article had appeared in the Hindu newspaper regarding this one. And above all, even if you think logically, which animal other than orangutan would have such kind of skills or such kind of intelligence, right? Next, question number 20. Consider the following statements: aerosols, foam agents, fire retardants, and lubricants. In the making of how many of the above are hydrofluorocarbons used? See, easily you could eliminate the third statements, because hydrofluorocarbons are primarily used as the coolants or cooling substances in refrigerants, in cooling and refrigeration, right? That's the reason you can easily eliminate which one? The fourth option, that is lubricants. So after that, you'll be left with only three, that is 1, 2, 3. So right option would be C, all three, right? So next, consider the following statements. Statement 1. Interest income from the deposits in infrastructure investment trusts, that is invites, distributed to their investors is exempted from tax, but not but the dividend is taxable. They are saying that interest is exempted from tax, but the dividend is taxable. So this is a kind of discriminatory. So that's the reason it somewhat looks like a trap. So for that reason, I would be eliminating the first statement. And if you are confidently able to eliminate the first statement, then the option would only be D, that is statement 1 is incorrect, the statement 2 is correct. Similarly, for question number 22, in the post-pandemic recent past, many central banks worldwide had carried out interest rate hikes. Yes, because a lot of money pumping was done, open market operations were done to revive the economy by various central banks across the world, right? So statement 1 would obviously be right, whereas statement 2, central banks generally assume that they have the ability to counteract the rising consumer prices via monetary policy means, right? Obviously. So this is definitely no, one of the monetary policy tools available with the central banks. So this action is taken by or done by the central bank mainly to address situations such as that which is mentioned in statement 1. So obviously the right answer would be A. Next, consider the following statements. Carbon markets are likely to be one of the most widespread tools in the fight against climate change. Statement 2, carbon markets transfer resources from the private sector to the state. Right? Carbon markets are likely to be one of the most widespread tools in the fight against climate change. Yes, obviously this is a correct statement, of late carbon markets have received a renewed push. A bill in this regard too was passed by the parliament recently, and even the Paris Agreement also touches upon this particular aspect. So they are obviously the widespread tool. So there is no doubt in this particular statement. But carbon markets transfer resources from the private sector to the state. Yes, obviously, the environment or the surrounding is the upkeeping of the surrounding or environment is not the sole responsibility of state or the governments. It also becomes the role of responsibility of private sector, and through carbon markets, they are helping transfer resources to the state. This is also a correct statement. But compare these two statements, whether the statement 2 provides an explanation to the statement 1. Yes, it looks right. In the examination hall, you would have definitely felt that yes, statement 2 is looking like a correct explanation for the statement 1. But in reality, although both the statements are both yes, I'm sorry, yes, both statements are correct, but statement 2 is not the correct explanation, right? Okay. So next, question number 24. Which one of the following activities of the Reserve Bank of India is considered to be a part of sterilization? So obviously you would mark the statement A as the right answer, that is conducting open market operations. You can easily eliminate B, C, D. This is one of the easiest questions in this year's paper. So it was a direct question. Next, consider the following markets: government bond market, call money market, treasury bill market, stock market. How many of the above are included in the capital market? or in capital markets. Call money market, this cannot be a capital market. Treasury bill market, this also cannot be a capital market. So left with only 1 and 4, and hence only two pairs are correct. All right. So that was it for today. I think I have discussed the first 25 set of questions of UPSC 2023 prelims question paper. In the upcoming videos, I shall be discussing the rest of the questions. So if possible, or if there is a chance, I would definitely show you how our elimination techniques or how our topics have been covered, and how they have been helpful for our aspirants or our students. All right. So I shall be discussing in depth the remaining questions in the upcoming classes. Thank you so much for joining. If you've got any doubt, please do not hesitate to ask your doubts. You can post your doubts in the comment section below. Also, do check out our previous Focus 300 series, and do not forget to attend the 5 days live workshop that we conduct regularly. That is conducted by Sumant sir and his team. So obviously that gives you a great insight about how to start preparing for UPSC, whether you are a newbie or a beginner or a veteran. So do not miss this opportunity. Register today for our 5 days live workshop, which is related to UPSC preparation. Thank you so much for joining. See you in the next class. Take care. Have a nice day. Bye bye.